What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and we just got episode 1 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it was amazing. It definitely sets up the rest of the show moving forward, and we did get some like cameos, or like one small little cameo in this episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Actually, two to be exact, and like the ending kind of like pissed us off a little bit, but for the rest of the episode, it did go well with like Sam and Bucky, and how they're definitely gonna team up together in the rest of the show going forward. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down episode 1 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I have to issue a spoiler alert. If you are trying to avoid any all possible spoilers for the first episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, click away now and don't come back until you've seen episode 1. Then come back here. But if you're still here, let's get started. So, episode 1 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier opens up with Sam about to go to Cap's funeral, about to go dressed in a suit, and then he looks at Captain America's shield, and then he has a flashback from Avengers Endgame when old Steve gave him his shield to Sam, and old Cap says, "How's it feel?" And Sam says, "Like it's someone else's." And old Caps says it isn't. So what this means that he doesn't know if Sam wants to live on Steve's legacy as Captain America, and if he doesn't want to be Captain America, then no one wants to be the new Captain America. And then in the next scene, we see a whole military crew with Falcon, and they learn that a criminal organization known as LAF has hijacked their planes, and that the Falcon has to go rescue their captain from the plane, and they lost contact with them. And then as Sam takes off, he falls out of the plane as Falcon, and he flies with his wingsuit on. So it feels like we are getting some Marvel action in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this episode. So some really good Marvel stuff coming from the first few minutes of this episode. And then he drops onto the plane, and he sees one of the pilots is already dead, and he sees, and another pilot sees that Falcon is already on the plane, and then Batroc has come out, and now Batroc was from Captain America the Winter Soldier when he hijacked a ship, and then Steve attacked him, but now he's moved on from a ship now to a plane, and then he has the captain trapped in there. So what he decides to do is, as he flies past the plane, he awakens up Red Wing to open up the ship. And now with Red Wing, he's from Captain America Civil War when he and the rest of the Avengers were fighting in Lagos. And then as Sam tries to come in, tries to break into the plane and tries to take out Batroc's army, his crew, and then as Sam tries to take out Batroc, he beats him up, and then he and his crew escape, and then Sam tries to go after them. And then as he tries to go after them, a big plane tries to kill Falcon with their jet, and tries to shoot him with the fighter jets. And then we get a cool action scene with Falcon and his wings going right under everything. It's this cool Falcon scene where he flies everywhere with the wings, where he's trying to avoid bullets. And then Sam tries to catch up to their plane, and then as Batroc and his crew try to escape on the helicopter, he says if they're gonna make it to the border, he's not gonna follow. And then out of nowhere, he goes into the plane and tries to take out his crew. And then Sam flies and jumps out of the plane sticking a bomb to it, and then blowing up the helicopter. And then finally, Sam flies to the helicopter, rescues the captain, and then the whole plane blows up, and then Batroc flies out of the helicopter as well. He jumps out. And so from what we can say from the scene is that within the first 10 minutes of this episode, it's really just Marvel stuff coming back to us, and with all this Marvel action within the first 10 minutes of the episode. And then the next scene, it takes place in Tunisia, where Sam and Torres are having a conversation. And as Sam and Torres were having a conversation, they were talking about enemies like a team of villains called the Flag Smashers, which I think that the role was better, and they thought that the role was better during the blimp. And then the next scene takes place in Washington, D.C., where Sam gave a speech, and he says, "Steve represented the best in all of us." And then we kind of got like a scene or a cameo from James Rhodes, or also known as Rhodey, as War Machine, and we saw him like in his military uniform, and he's there at Cap's funeral, because Rhodey was part of the Avengers team. He was part of the Avengers, so he knew Steve Rogers. And then as Sam's speech went on, he was talking about how like a few months ago a billion people got like snapped 5 years ago, and he was describing the snap as turning the people into turmoil. And then he says, "We need new heroes." It's because in Avengers Endgame, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America are gone, and they need new heroes to fit the shoes and fill in for those heroes that are gone. And then Sam says, "Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning." And then as Sam picks up Cap's shield, he looks at him and he says, "So thank you, Captain America, because honestly, like Sam, like and all the others they all have to honor Steve's legacy and leave Steve's legacy live on in the museum by storing Cap's shield in a display case." And then as Sam and Rhodey are walking through the Captain America Museum, Sam was talking about him, and they were having a conversation, and Sam was talking about him and his family. And then Rhodey was talking about how alliances are broken, and that he says like someone or everybody is just looking for somebody to fix it. And then as Rhodey left, Sam looks at the shield at the display case, and still feeling the pressure whether he wants to be the next Captain America or not. And then the next scene takes place in a hotel where Bucky comes in and attacks the people. And now, but this time as he is fighting, he is the Winter Soldier, and he is taking out the hotel's security guards and the rest of the people as well. And then as he tries to attack someone and throws him out against the wall, hotel guest says to him, "Hail Hydra." And then as he tries to unlock the door, Bucky tries like to walk towards him to go after him, and he says like he didn't see anything. And then he immediately wakes up from a dream. So what this means that this is like still happening, like even like from like after Endgame or during Captain America the Winter Soldier, when Hydra brought him back to life. And so this would probably more like a nightmare that Bucky keeps having of him like attacking people as the Winter Soldier. And then he goes into therapy, and the therapist asks do you have nightmares? And then Bucky refuses to answer, but then he says no, and like he's lying. And then he tries to avoid like lies and just say like no to every question. And then after that, he continues to lie about his most recent nightmare, and that like he says that like she doesn't need to know his most recent nightmare. And then a therapist lays down some rules with Bucky, like he can't do anything illegal, like he can't hurt people, like what he did, like when he hijacked a car that goes like crashing or like speeding, and it stops, and then it scares the lady, and then Bucky tries to kill the passenger, and the passenger seat like choking him and then killing him. And then after Bucky says that like he refuses to say anything because he's lying and that he didn't have a recent nightmare, she says that he is all alone, he doesn't have a history or no family. And then he says he had a calm in Wakanda. I think this was based on the Black Panther post-credit scene when Bucky ended up in Wakanda, and then he was all calm. And then the next thing, the therapist tells Bucky that he is free and that he is pardoned. And then the next scene is taking place in Brooklyn, New York, in which Steve Rogers was born in. Steve's birthplace was Brooklyn, New York, where Bucky and Yori are in a Chinese restaurant having a conversation, and then they were discussing, and Bucky was discussing being past 90, and he's saying such a shame. And then the next scene, it takes place in Louisiana, where Sam goes to visit his family on their ship called Wilson's Seafood. I think this is one that we saw in the trailers. And then we see Sam and his sister Sarah having a conversation, and that they were having business troubles, and that like Sam wants to like a little money, and that like Sam's saying that like he can help her. And then Bucky goes on his date where in the restaurant where he talks about the past and how it was a lie. And then she asks, how old are you? And then he says 106. And then she questions his arm, and then he answers with he has poor circulation. And then the next scene takes place in Switzerland, where we see Sam's friend Torres goes through like a bunch of people and asks them questions, and then he ends up finding one of the flag smashers, and then he ends up wearing a mask, and for a second there we thought he was a part of them, but now Torres puts on that mask to observe what the flag smashers do, and then Torres tries to attempt to arrest one of the flag smashers, and then the flag smashers like hurts him, and then we see Sam and Sarah at the bank trying to get a loan from the bank, but they don't approve, and because Sam wants to help us save the family business by trying to take out a loan to save it. And then it ends with with the politician saying over the speaker, as it says like they need new heroes, that the world is vulnerable, that they need someone to inspire us again. And then they introduce a new Captain America, which sort of like pissed people off. And it turns out it's the newest agent, John Walker, with the Captain America shield. And now we're thinking like this is like the ending that like kind of like pissed us off a bit, because with like a John Walker. And now it's a new Captain America, because we bet like at Shield what was like meant to be in a museum, and that like no one like wants to be the new Captain America. And so yeah, guys. So with the ending that kind of like trolled us like off a little bit, with like John Walker coming in like is he the new Captain America with the Captain America shield that was on display in the museum, and I kind of like pissed like Sam off. But like we're definitely gonna see like a team up between Sam and Bucky, and then also be like fighting the flag smashers, which they're gonna be involved in the show too moving forward. And I think for these like cameos or these villains coming forward, like Sharon Carter and Baron Zemo, I think like that they're gonna be like in the rest of the show moving forward. And so yeah, that is it for my breakdown of the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I am going to be doing another watch party next week for Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2 next week. And yeah, so that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you enjoy episode 1 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and give it your exact rating? Also, don't forget to smash the like button, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.